Arab Center. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the opening session of the annual Palestine Forum, which is devoted to discuss the Palestinian issue from different angles. This round, the fourth round, is being held in very difficult circumstances after 2 years of a genocidal war which Israel has imposed on Gaza. The circle of aggression was not confined to Palestine. It also included Lebanon, Syria, Qatar, and with the possibility of renewing the war on Iran. The papers which will be discussed aim to approach these issues, and they total 83 papers distributed 23 parallel sessions. They will deal with the genocidal war on Gaza and the bias shown by Western media in covering this war, in addition to deep discussion on the settler colonial aspects of it and the apartheid regime in Palestine. The Palestinian cause has attracted a large wave of support internationally and at the level of different peoples in the world, although at the official level it was not so widely spread. This is not because it is just a case of national liberation and struggle against colonialism. It also includes the aspect of its the similarity with the apartheid regime experienced in South Africa and the bias shown by the Western media, and this was showed in comparison by a high level of professionalism by Palestinian journalists against a backlash of continual oppression by the Israeli authorities, and that included direct targeting of journalists, and this led to the demise of 270 journalists. This coincides with changes in the international scene with the return of President Trump to office, and the international law is being mocked in a world which is being re-established, and this leaves the peoples under colonialism exposed before brute force in the absence of active international authorities to defend them. And this is leading to an international order which is governed by force and not justice, and the attempts to impose new forms of control over the Palestinian people and in total ignorance of their natural rights to self-determination. This required some deep discussion to understand this change in the international order, and this round of the Palestine Forum will attempt to discuss this and other related issues. Continued Israeli aggression, especially when Israel has changed its military doctrine to a more of an aggressive one, and to subjugate the surrounding countries to the will of Israel through imposing facts on the ground and through following policies of genocide and using brute force as a justifiable tool in international relations. In addition to that, the continued oppression of universities and other learning centers where academicians and searchers who try to defend the Palestinian cause have been oppressed under the guise of fighting anti-Semitism and to oppress these voices which try to defend the Palestinian narrative. This round of the forum will have a special session on the reconstruction of Gaza where the where a number of experts will present their views on this issue. And unlike the traditional approach in previous rounds, we used to start this forum by a public lecture. In this round, the public lecture will be later on in the day, around 6 o'clock in the evening, which will be presented by Dr. Azmi Bshara, and it will tackle the Palestinian cause from a perspective of international and regional approaches and the challenges it is facing. It's worth mentioning that for the second year running and in view of the continued Israeli aggression in the West Bank has made a number of participants who intended to attend this forum were not allowed to arrive in time. We hope that they will be participating in the future events. I thank you once again for attending this forum. I invite my colleague Amjad Al-Maliki, who will be presenting on behalf of the Palestinian Research Center, and the head of that center, Dr. Khalid Farraj, was banned from attending by the Israeli authorities. Dr. Al-Malki, the floor is yours. Good morning, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished gathering, our dear colleagues, the Arab Center, all the researchers who presented papers to this forum. Like my colleague Dr. Ayat has said, please allow me to convey to you the greetings of the Palestinian Studies Institute, Dr. Khalid Farraj, who was banned from attending for the second year. When this forum was launched as a joint effort by the Arab Center and the Palestinian Studies Center, the aim was to discuss all aspects relating to the Palestinian case and to hear papers from experts from different countries in the world, in addition to young researchers who are joining this field of knowledge to present the real narrative of the struggle, which is based on undeniable facts and not faked news. There is undoubtedly a struggle of narratives which deserves every effort to be made to counter the bias at the international level against the Palestinian cause. We are gathering here today for the fourth round of the Palestine Forum, and year after year we become more convinced that this forum is doing a very good job in providing a platform for researchers to discuss issues relating to Palestine and the region. And it must be said that the Palestinian cause in particular is going through a very critical juncture, and this will compound our difficulties in dealing with this issue and leave its print on our work as researchers. The fact that this forum continues in existence is good enough evidence to the determination of the Palestinian people to continue their effort in defense of their cause at a time when the Palestinian people are uprooted. The sisterly country of Qatar has played a great role in stopping the war in Gaza, although the firing has nominally stopped, but the war itself is still continuing, and we see that on daily basis in Gaza and the West Bank. And this is only due to the unlimited expansionist policies of Israel, and we see how Israel gives itself the right to violate ceasefires after it signs to them under the pretext of defending itself, and it's occupying new territories in the West Bank and continues this policy not only in Gaza but in Lebanon and Syria, and it continues attacks in Yemen and elsewhere. And the attempts continue to avoid any possibility of establishing a Palestinian state. There are many changes which are in process now, and the impact of which will be felt in the future. Palestine has been fully impacted by these changes, and this is evident in the military occupation. The millions of the Palestinian people living in tattered tents, and students not being able to get access to education, and the life as refugees in many camps scattered in Palestine itself and in neighboring countries, and the aggression they experience by settlers and the checkpoints which are now distributed throughout the Palestinian territories. In addition to that, Israel usurps the tax returns for Palestinian people to impose even more pressure on the Palestinian economy, to push Palestinian people to subjugation and surrender to Israel's will. Our organization, the Palestinian Studies Institute, has been documenting everything that pertains to this struggle, and we have launched a number of platforms like the documenting of targeting and destruction of the educational system in Gaza, the health system, in addition to targeting culture, agriculture, media, sports, and the conditions of Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails, and what happens to the city of Jerusalem. These platforms document what goes on daily basis, and what goes on in Israeli detention centers, and in Jerusalem. These platforms, with their efforts to document events in both Arabic and English, and we are in the process of making all our platforms bilingual to allow the opportunity for researchers and writers to contribute to it, in addition to international organizations active in Palestine. In addition to this, we have issued more than 200 papers. Now we are in the process of publishing a new book which carries the testimonies of 6 doctors who were working in Gaza. And another book will be documenting the war of genocide the people of Gaza have been subjected to, in an attempt to document these events by Gazan people themselves. And these books are in line with our other efforts, which we've continued since our establishment in 1963, and not for the last 3 years. I don't have time to detail all our publications in Arabic, English, and French, or our daily bulletin, which monitors the most important events from the Hebrew press, and all the efforts we exert through our offices in Beirut, Ramallah, and Washington. And we must also mention that we have always been keen on opening the door to young researchers. Last year, a large number of young graduates from Palestine and elsewhere in the Arab world have joined our training programs, and this has been an important opportunity for students to keep up with the developments in the Palestinian cause and the important documenting work that we've been carrying out in the last 2 years complements the work of other organizations, and this forum is testimony to the integrated work and the complementary work that we do with the Arab Center, and this is part and parcel of our commitment to discussing and critically discussing the Palestinian issues. And when truth is targeted, we can prove that scientific research can be a form of establishing justice and objectivity aimed at presenting a fair, human and humanistic narrative to express the rights and the experiences of the Palestinian people. Through attending this forum, we understand that the way of knowledge, research, and objectivity in presenting our narrative is an act of resistance. I thank you all for attending this forum, and I would like to express our deep gratitude to the Arab Center headed by Dr. Azmi Bshara, and if it wasn't for their efforts, we wouldn't have been able to hold this forum. I look forward to the discussions and wish you success in your deliberations. And for as long as there are people who learn, who teach, who conduct scientific research, then justice will always be served. Thank you for your kind attention. Thank you, Dr. Majdi, and thank you for ladies and gentlemen. Now we will start the fourth round of Palestine Forum. We will be moving to 3 Salwa